Letha Healthcare was formed when the founders of Letha reversed their business into JSE-listed Myriad Medical Holdings and took control in May 2010. The group has operations in biotechnology, medical devices and pharmaceuticals. It has a market cap of 2.1 billion and a price-to-earnings ratio of 15. It currently pays no dividends. How do we stand on this one? Just currently, let's start on the share price straight away. We are looking not too bad at just under that 425 level. Paul?
No, it's been a good run. Understand, as you said there, Myriad was a sort of clapped out, misconceived listing. Then the Carnowitz brothers, Selwyn and Martin, took this thing over, injected OTC Pharma in. Blackstar helped them with the reorganization. Now they've taken this company called Pharmaplan, which was a good, well-established South African business with a Canadian shareholder, and bought that in exchange for shares. So where we are now is that this Canadian company, Paladin, will have the controlling interest. Blackstar has reduced their stake by half. Talented management team. I think they're going to be about the 5th largest OTC, or not OTC, generic drug company in the country. And their CEO of Pharmaplan, Gert Hoogland, has sort of taken over as the executive director. So yes, there's a lot to like. But again, the question is, where in the pecking order of the market share do you want to be as an investor? And
they should be hiring you as their public relations executive. Where in the pecking order do we go with this one?
It's a very difficult one because I really like the long-term story. The pharma side of things is same as Adcock or Cipla. It's very homogenous model. The real value in Letha is in the vaccine business, and unfortunately the value in that vaccine business is 2-3 years down the line as they start vaccine manufacture. I mean, there they've got...
But that's not bad for investors. I mean, 2-3 years is nothing in an
yeah, that's when it can start being reflected in the numbers of the vaccine business, but then you've got to overlay that with the idea that there's still sort of a third coming out of pharmaceuticals, a third coming out of medical devices, and the vaccine business is doing well, but for that to drive the group, I think, is a stretch. Although in time, I mean, I think it's a very good long-term story in vaccines.
But is the long-term story already in the price? Because we know that the market prices, share prices are dynamic.
Yeah. Look, as I said, it's a great sector. I just want to ask a question. The government, as in the South African government, owns half of that BioVac business. What kind of vaccines are we talking here?
It's all infant vaccines. So it's the EPI SA schedule, and that's, I think, 12 vaccines, and Letha through the BioVac Institute distributes to the state. It's a very secure business, very annuity style, and as they get manufacture going, you can kick that profitability on.
Has that whet your appetite?
Yeah, I guess so, because there are 50 million South Africans, of which a lot of them are still little, so you can give them all a jab of the stuff for measles and mumps and all the rest of it, and the government obviously wants to be party to that. Although my general rule of thumb is don't involve yourself as an investor in any business that has anything to do with the government. Better to compete with them than to collaborate with them. But
is that fair? I mean, I would rather have the government on my side. Which
well,
may be their
strategy. As opposed to trying to shut you down or nationalize you, yes. But, like when I say collaborate with the government, I mean, to be in road construction or anything like that where you're dependent on them paying you. But look, we know government in this country is very committed to the National Health Initiative, so they'll certainly fund it.
So it may not be a bad strategic partnership on this.
I mean, I think it's a pretty solid position, and a million births a year, approximately in SA. It's not really going to change, and it's I think a very good long-term story, but at the moment it's just the market's getting too enthusiastic about the pricing and the impact of the Pharmaplan deal.
It's never a good thing when the market gets too enthusiastic about the pricing. It means you've lost the opportunity to get in.
Yeah, but then remember, with the Pharmaplan deal, the number of shares in issue has changed, and so people want to sort of wait and see what kind of earnings profile the company is going to have. So I think you can afford to wait, because with these kinds of stories, with companies with market caps in the sort of 2-3 billion rand level, there isn't solid institutional support yet. A lot of little Avior drives them there. So, we'll have to, I think there's still plenty of time to get in.
But it is, I can say it's very illiquid. So for the retail investors, it's decent, but institutions, it's actually tricky to actually get a legitimate stake.
So hot or not?
I'm going to say not hot at the moment, but take a look at it again in 12 months' time.
Paul?
That's excellent. Summarizes my view exactly.